celibate while dating. I'm telling you. Because when shit hits the fan, because it always do, it always hits the fan, you get to sit back and think, you can't get no coochie out the crib. I'm telling you, the best thing to do is to be celibate, stack your money, and don't worry about no man, okay?
I'm celebrating my 1 year of being completely celibate. Well, 386 days, but who's counting, right? This is one of my most proudest journeys because like 386 of no sex, no porn, no masturbating, and it's a huge step for me. So I'm gonna make a wish real quick, hold on. Whoa, congrats! When I decided that I wanted to pursue this last year, I thought I would have not made it to this point, you know? Porn and masturbating has been something like I got hooked on since the 3rd grade. Like, it's been one of the most like destructive things. I cannot get myself to quit. Like, I think the longest I could go was like a couple months, and then I always relapse. And I tell myself, Kai, it's because you're weak. You're not meant for anything bigger than this. And I would just constantly pummel myself down. And I know that's not from God. And to be able to sit here like this and tell you guys that those days are like behind me, I'm incredibly proud of myself. But not proud because I did it, but because God is walking with me through it. And he makes me not want to like mess it up, not because I feel like I have to because I'm a Christian, but because I know the moment I go back to these vices, I'm losing out on the potential that God has for me as a man, to be able to lead my family, to be able to lead my life in the future, to be able to tell my kids, guys, this thing is destructive for you, but there's a reason why, because you're missing out on the discipline, on the freedom that you're getting. And that's the change he made from the inside out. But ironically, it's been one of the hardest yet easiest things I've done. When I say easy, I mean it's because Jesus, I feel like, just completely transformed my desire, you know? But I also say hardest because there was so many nights when I had like really like sexy dreams. And I'd wake up and I'm like, oh my God, I am so like, I feel so much urges. And I will say in this 1 year, so obviously I did learn a lot of things to make the battle easier. And so if you guys are also struggling with the same addiction or like same struggles, like I want to share those with you. So my first advice is that the battle is won before it's fought. Meaning when I'm not tempted throughout the day, I have to set up the habits that'll keep me strong when I am tempted at nights. So some habits I try to incorporate, and of course I'm not perfect, is not double glancing back at sexually charged billboards, or even when an attractive gal is wearing something revealing, keeping my eyes down or away even when it's hard. And I notice when I protect my eyes, there's way less room for my mind to create any more urges or like fantasies that will just get me. And another big one is fleeing and not fighting. Meaning I will not even give myself the chance to fight these temptations, but rather just going on a run or doing jiu-jitsu, calling a friend, and doing just something to redirect my focus to something else. Lust is just way too hard to resist, and I realized I just shouldn't even give it the time of day. But I'm not perfect, and I'm human, so I'm bound to make a mistake. But that's exactly why I shouldn't trust my own willpower on this, but rely on the one person that made this overcoming even possible to begin with, and that is Jesus.
I've been celibate for about a year and some change. Throughout the midst of me being celibate, bro, I've found myself way more happier. I found myself having way more energy, and I found myself being way more attractive to whoever need to hear this. You don't need other people to feel validated. All you need is yourself. You do not have to chase. They will find you. Tap into what makes you happy. If anybody come into your life while you in the midst of working on yourself, they can't put you down. They can't put you down.
So approximately a year ago today, I broke a 3.5-year celibacy, and I want to tell y'all what I've learned since then. Now, the reason that I was celibate for 3.5 years is a completely different story that I do not have time to tell today. But in short, I was coming out of a highly toxic, highly abusive relationship. And essentially, I just went into shell shock for a number of years. That's what my mom called it. And I just recently got out of it. Like this time last year, I broke the celibacy and basically the shell shock, I guess. I've learned a lot in that time. I've dated, I've explored, I have put myself back out there, and I've grown so much as a woman, I think. Like, I have learned so much about myself. I learned a lot about how I even ended up in the relationship that started the shell shock, that started the celibacy. I really have done a lot of healing, a lot of like a lot of the work. I've done a lot of the inner work to just become the type of woman that I wanted to become in those years. And so I finally felt like I was at a point where I had done all of the growing and learning that I needed to do on my own. And at that point, it was just like, okay, now you have to get out into the world and try to apply those lessons and learn new lessons along the way, which I didn't know. I thought I was just gonna come out of this 3 years, it was like 3 years and 6 months, y'all. I thought I was gonna come out of this celibacy and have it all figured out and navigate it perfectly. And no, because the world has changed, dating has changed, social media plays a big part in that. And so it was an interesting field to jump back into. But what I will say is that celibacy prepared me in a way that I would have never, ever expected. So prior to going into celibacy, pretty much every person that I was sexually active with, I had a strong attachment to that person, and for one reason or another. And I was very worried that coming out of celibacy that would intensify because I had been celibate for so long. When I tell y'all, it was quite the opposite. I don't care. Oh my God. I don't care. It does not shake me. It completely stripped the meaning of sex for me, in the sense of like, I just didn't apply the same value to it that I was applying before. And that could also be age, right? Because I'm 27 now. I broke celibacy at 26, but how many years ago? 22 through 26, there wasn't any sexual activity. So it could be an age thing, but let's get into what I actually learned. The way that women are valuing sex is completely incorrect. At least it was incorrect for me. I just felt like it was something that could be taken from me, something that if I, gave away, that I was losing something. And the truth is, nobody can take any energy from you that you don't willingly give them. So if you are going into these interactions knowing that you are in control of your energy, it actually is just that. Like, when I tell you, your perspective on that is actually your reality, it really is. And this is coming from a person that used to have the total opposite perspective. Your perspective is your reality. You quite literally don't really have to assign any emotional value to anybody simply because you were sexually active with them. Like, you can get those people out of your life. They don't have to stick around. Just because you had sex with them, like, you could release them. You could release them the same day. You know what I'm saying? If you're big and bad, you don't even have to stall. Like, the emotion that you think is tied to that is the emotion that society told you should be there. But if you really sit with yourself, a lot of it is ego. That's another thing I learned. A lot of times women are really moving with their ego, but calling it emotion, right? And calling it like, I'm looking for clarity. And I used to be a victim of that. Like, me wanting clarity. And I saw another creator on here say that, and she hit the nail on the head. And I said it in her comments. I wish I remembered her @name. But women sometimes look for clarity, but we're not looking for clarity. You're looking for control under the guise of clarity. And what I had to realize is, just like I'm in control of my emotions and I'm in control of my actions, other people out in the world are too. And sometimes those emotions and those actions may not align with you, but it doesn't make them inherently wrong. And if you do feel like they're inherently wrong, then get out of that man's face. So now we're going to get into what I really learned. To get out of that man's face. We're actually complicating that more than you need to. When a man starts showing you things that you don't like, that's not your time to course correct him. That's your time to observe, figure out if it aligns with what you need, and if it does not, get out of that man's face. I'm really talking to me, but I'm talking to you because you're the version of me that I was before I did the work. So do the work so you can get out of that man's face. Okay. Another thing that I actually learned is to practice better emotional hygiene. And I learned that from celibacy. So prior to celibacy, I used to be a people pleaser, an overgiver, an overextender. And it took me a number of years to figure out what was going to be a comfortable midpoint, because I don't want to half love somebody because I feel like that's all they have to offer me. I still want to be true and authentic to myself. And I enjoy loving other people. I enjoy being generous with other people. I enjoy giving my energy to other people. However, if there comes a point where that energy is not being reciprocated, I have to practice emotional hygiene and know when to pull back, because it's nobody else's responsibility to keep me in check. You know what I'm saying? And like take care of me emotionally. So I had to learn that emotional hygiene is not simply responding always to how people are treating you. It's actually checking in with yourself and responding to how you're feeling. Because in the past, I tended to do a lot of things as far as overextending myself that bred resentment. And it's because I was not practicing emotional hygiene. I was not checking in with myself. I was just giving and giving and giving and hoping that at some point I would receive reciprocity. And in a perfect world, yeah, but we don't live in a perfect world. So in the world that we live in, I had to learn, no, be yourself, be your generous, kind-hearted, sweet self, but be aware of what you're receiving so that you can figure out, okay, does this match? Is this equal? Or is this something that later down the line, I'm going to feel resentful that I extended myself in this way? I'm going to feel resentful that I gave this of myself because I didn't receive anything back. So when I started being intentional and really thinking, I'm talking about, I once bought a man a pillow. And in the process of buying the pillow, I was like, if this man leave me tomorrow and give this pillow to the next girl, am I going to be upset about that? And I was like, no, it's a pillow, babe. It's a pillow. And I don't talk to that man no more, but I'm not resentful. We have no beef. We're cool, because I was intentional the whole way through about how much I was extending myself. And the second I felt like, okay, stop extending. If you extend past this point and nothing changes, that might breed resentment. When I hit that point, I stop extending, because it's not on him. Yes, it's on him to reciprocate. But once he falls short, it's on me to acknowledge that and decide what my next move is. And a lot of times women dodge accountability when it comes to that part. It's like, oh, he did what you allowed him to do. He did what you said in his face and allowed him to do. And that is the hard truth that I had to really accept. And once I accepted that, I started moving different. And so these are just a few things. This could go on forever, because literally, you would be surprised how much I've learned in a year. This could go on forever, but I think celibacy did beautiful, beautiful things for me. I'm so glad that I spent my early 20s not sexually active, because now I can explore safely. And I don't mean that just physically, right? And just like, not being loose, and not even just that. It's literally the emotional hygiene part. Like, I'm okay with however it plays out, with whoever it plays out, because I come in intentionally, I know what I'm looking for, and I execute based on that. So I'm walking away from all of these situations unscathed, heart still soft, no bitterness, no resentment. And it's not that the men got better, because they didn't. I got better at managing myself and managing my emotions and good pussy management and just all those things. And so it put me in a better state. It put me in a state where I'm able to receive, but I'm also able to acknowledge when the reciprocity is not there and not be bitter about it, and understand that how somebody shows up in my life, regardless of how I'm showing up for them, is a reflection of my self-worth, in the sense of, if you show up and it's a little bit too much for you, I'm doing something right. Yeah, that's what I learned.
I went celibate for like a year.
Wow, here we go.
That's big. Yeah.
You're in the right room. Yeah, you are.
If I'm celibate, then I have only a few things that I can focus on anyways, and it would teach me a level of discipline. My value for time just increased, and it became very difficult to want to waste time. And so for me now, one of the things is like, I don't feel ashamed or guilty about not giving people my time. Time is the only thing, bro, we can't ever get back. It's such a scarcity type of thing to have. Yeah. I don't owe anyone any of that time, and no one does. Like, you gotta use your time the way you want to, and if you're like growing, that's the best way. And so celibacy for 12 months was solid. It was a really enriching experience.
I've nearly been celibate for 2 years now, and let me go ahead and tell y'all some things that I've learned in my celibacy journey, my continuing continuous celibacy journey. Apparently I can't talk. All right, first and foremost, it will weed out people so fast. Like, as soon as you make it clear that you are not going to break it, and also not only that, you make it very vocal that this is your boundaries, just wait. Like, after a few dates, you'll notice who respects your boundaries, and you'll also notice who tries to pretend like they don't really exist and that they might be special. They're not special, okay? I will say it will teach you how to be very confrontational, and it will also teach you to be extremely direct, and that's honestly a pretty good skill set to have. So either way, a win-win situation that you're constantly having to state your boundaries, communicate them, and stand firm on. Another big thing is that you're really getting to know this person without any distractions of like rose-tinted glasses, hormones, all of those things that come into play of, and so yeah, it really like creates a lot of intentionality and, really curiosity of like who this person is, whether if you guys are actually compatible, not just chemistry. I'll definitely say my biggest pro is the fact that your discernment is at an all-time high, and not only that, it also creates room for alignment. So just some food for thought.
I was celibate for the last 4 years, and it was one of the best decisions I ever made, so let's talk about it. A lot of people go celibate for different types of reasons, but for me personally, it was because I genuinely wanted to work on healing myself, de-center men, and also to put my focus on other things that were more important at that time in my life. When you have sex with somebody, you are transferring their energy, you are creating a soul tie. I don't care if it's a one-night stand, I don't care if you've been seeing that person for 3 months, 3 years, 3 decades, you are transferring energy. And especially as women, you are also releasing hormones that naturally make you more attached to that person. And it also alters the type of person that you will end up like attracting at the end of the day. When I went celibate, I realized that a lot of men don't have much to offer other than sex. And although that's one of the most important aspects of any relationship is also the physical intimacy part of it, for me personally, I was like, if this person can't even like stimulate my brain, if we don't even have an emotional connection, why would I want to give myself to that person? And not only that, but how many times have you actually talked to somebody who's had a one-night stand and they're like, oh my God, it was the best thing ever? Almost 0 to never. For me, the person that I'm intimate with is somebody that like I emotionally connect with, I physically connect with on a deeper, more intellectual level. A lot of things that just go beyond the physical aspect of just sex. Have these different types of connections intellectually, emotionally, physically, mentally, and that person genuinely understands you. Everything that you feel, everything that you do with that person is almost heightened times 100. I know with the rise of these crazy feminist movements, a lot of these women come on this app and say that, oh, it's so empowering to sleep with as many people as possible. But you also have to realize that people are gross. People are unhygienic. People don't really test themselves. And you are putting yourself at a health risk every time that you're sleeping with somebody you barely even know. If you are somebody that is single and maybe you're trying to like decenter men and genuinely work on yourself or work on even attracting the right person into your life, everything always starts from within first. If you don't fix what's in your head, if you don't fix what's in your heart, you will never be able to attract the right person into your life.
Nobody talks about this, but when you're abstinent or celibate, you are so potent to the spirits of the opposite sex. Like, you can almost smell or know what they're thinking or what they want. You become, your spirits and your senses are so heightened, it's insane. Your discernment and your intuition is crazy because it's not getting blocked by someone else's soul ties. It's not getting blocked by someone else's spirit, right? So when you're around men or when you're around opposite sex, right? It's like you know what they're about to do. You know what they're looking at. You know what they're thinking, especially if they're thinking through their flesh. Especially if they're thinking about like sleeping with you. You can feel it. And it's almost unnerving. It's almost so true. You are most likely not going to be wrong. And you're very upfront about it. You can smell when a man is just looking at you feasting with his flesh. You can tell what he's thinking about before he even says anything. You can tell his spirit. You can tell what he actually wants. You can discern his fruit because the fruit never lies. I'm telling you, the most powerful thing you can do is go on a spiritual journey of abstinence and celibacy for yourself. Nobody else. Nobody else. Go for it for yourself, because you will see another version of this world like never before. You will understand why the Bible told us to wait till marriage. You will understand. Because the way you will see the sexual nature of humans will be in such a different point of view that you have never seen before. And you will move different. You will think different. You will just be in the world but not be of the world in such a different way than ever before. You will seek and crave and understand your power like never before. And I'm telling you, you will not give it up the way you did before. You will be very discerning. You will be very specific, and you will hold on to yourself like nobody's business, because now you understand, now you get, and now you see the lens of spirit through spirit onto someone else. You will see man in such a different way, and even you will start acting different. You will start moving through this world different as well, and you will do everything and anything to try to make your spirit constantly be cleansed and constantly have people around you that also abide by the same knowledge and by the same thought process. I'm telling you, it's the most powerful journey ever in life.
Put it out there. Celibate and single is the new sexy. I'm going to say it again. Celibate and single is the new sexy. Nobody's trying to continue going around sleeping with all these different kind of people who done had all these different partners. And then you come into their life. They done slept with 30, 40 different people. And you done downloaded all the demons they done had in their life. Not all the demons in your life. I'm telling you right now, celibate and single is the new sexy. You know, I think each person need to be celibate at least a year and single at least a year before they consider dating somebody else, to get all of that demonic, them soul ties, get all of that stuff up out of you. You know, I'm at a year now of actually being celibate and single. Do I like it? No, but it is what it is. And I probably needed it too, just to get this girl out of me who I was with before, you know, get her completely out of me, out of my system, so that I can go on. And if I, you know, get into a relationship with somebody else, I don't carry all of that baggage in. But it's a good idea. It's a good idea to be celibate and single. And you want to check people when you date them too, to make sure, you know, ask them, how long have you been celibate? Because if somebody only been celibate like probably 2 weeks, then you probably don't even want to deal with that person. Or you just probably want to date them and not even have, you know, any kind of intimacy with them. I wouldn't suggest intimacy anyway, unless you're married to the person. But you want to make sure this person's been celibate for a while, to make sure they ain't carrying nothing. Not just STDs, but sexually transmitted demons. You want to be around this person for a while before you allow yourself to be hugged up with this person or to be kissing this person. You don't know what this person carrying. You don't know where they've been. That's why I said celibate and single is the new sexy. If I meet somebody, I want to ask you a question. Not just the normal question, but I want to know how long you've been celibate. How long has it been since you've been intimate with somebody else? Because I think that's a very important question that we just slip on. We always asking about people's money, what kind of job you have, you know, different questions, but we never ask anybody, when was the last time you've been intimate with somebody? Because if you don't ask that question, I mean, they could easily lie to you, but that's a question you want to know, because somebody might be carrying some soul ties or some demonic ties with them. So I'm going to say it again, celibate and single is the new sexy. And I never thought like this as a kid growing up. I wanted to hit everything I could. But now I'm very selective on who I even want to be around. So celibate and single, say it with me, is the new sexy.
The thing about maintaining celibacy is that it really opens up like a new level of thinking in your mind. And it also gives you a bit of compassion. You see, whenever you stop indulging in that behavior, you start to see people for who they are. You don't see them because of their body or their face. You start to enjoy more connections, you know, whenever you meet someone, genuine conversations. And I know it can sound a bit corny, but once you go through that, it's actually something you never want to like end. Like, you genuinely enjoy it. Because whenever you are lustful, you only got one thing on your mind. You don't really care about what the person has to say. You don't care about what they believe in. You don't care about anything. You just want to sleep with them and that's it. But once you get past that and you actually develop some emotional maturity and intelligence, and you say, you know what, I'm going to respect myself, and I'm going to respect especially the person that I'm meeting, because they themselves are a child of God, it's quite beautiful how you start to think. Because now if I'm going to meet someone, I genuinely want to get to know them. Like, I enjoy deep conversations. I enjoy hearing about their life. And in turn, the connection will always be more genuine, and I think you'll have a better chance of finding the right person for you. Because when you're shallow and you're superficial and you're vain, you're never going to attract anything worthwhile. So staying celibate and actually thinking with the right head is genuinely a game changer. If you've been thinking about trying it, do it, bro. Wait till marriage, be respectful, have discipline, and I'm telling you, bro, the amount of confidence that you get, the amount of just fulfillment and gratitude for life and for all the connections that you have and for all the genuine relationships, it's just crazy, bro. It really just, it descends you to a new level. Try it out, I'm serious.
Have you noticed an increasing amount of women that are either on a celibacy journey, have become celibate recently, or just are celibate? Because I have. Let's talk about it. My name's Casey. This is my universe. Show me how good it can be. Day 30. I've been celibate now for almost 6 years. Yes, years. I have been celibate for 6 years. I know you're thinking, oh my gosh, is she crazy? Has it been hard? I am a little crazy. It was hard in the beginning. It has not been hard now. It is actually one of the easiest things I have ever committed to myself. The celibacy journey that I decided to embark on was almost 6 years ago. And back then it was kind of not really heard of. Like, I did not know anybody that was by choice choosing to not be intimate with somebody and not have sex and actually be completely celibate and devoted to themselves. I was the one that was the common denominator in all of these relationships where I was seeking love, validation, feelings that I definitely couldn't provide for myself. I was seeking them in other people. And all of these men were almost identical, not looks wise, but energy wise. I realized that I had to find and discover why I was not loving myself enough to choose myself in these relationships where I definitely was not being chosen. I started with committing to myself 1 year of devoting everything I could to Casey, being celibate, no men, no nothing. That was my goal. A year went by and I was like, actually, this is the best I've ever felt in my life, so I'm gonna keep this going. Maybe got a little handsy. Never have I had sex in almost 6 years. I realized how potent, sacred, and important our womb space is as a woman. Our womb space is the creation of life. We create life, literally. So why would you allow somebody to taint that energy? Have you ever noticed after you go out, you meet someone, one night stand? I can speak on it because I've done it. I've been there. Trust me, no judgment here. I promise you, I'm speaking from complete experience. But did you ever notice how maybe you felt really good for like a day, and then for like maybe 2 weeks after, you've had anxiety, you had depression, there was all these emotions, and you're like, what is this? It's not yours. It's not yours because you are literally getting the life force energy sucked out of you. It's definitely not intentional. It's just what happens. Women are typically more high vibrational, more connected. Our intuition is on peak. And men come along and they're like, oh, I want some of that. They don't even know really what they want. It's probably your energy they're attracted to. And then you go home, cuddle, slap, whatever you want to call it, have this super fun night. They're all charged up and ready to go rule the world. And you are depressed and in the bathtub crying and wanting to end your life for a few weeks. That's because you literally just gave your life force energy away. Our womb space is so sacred. Our body is sacred, and intimacy and having sex is a very sacred act. We have taken advantage of that. We've let our human emotions and feelings control the driver's seat, when really we need to be controlling the driver's seat with our intuition and our thoughts and our womb space. And when our womb space is like, no, we need to listen to that. Women, listen to your womb space. Please, just listen to it. I'm actually really impressed and really glad that this is becoming a trend. It's a beautiful trend. I think it's amazing. Save your life force energy, save being intimate with somebody, save that sacred exchange with your divine counterpart. I could go on and on about this. Save yourself for marriage from the Bible, yada, yada, yada. I'm not getting religious. This is not about religion. This isn't about saving yourself for that one person, or you're gonna go to hell if you have sex before marriage. That is not what I'm getting with this. And we'll talk about that on another day. That sacred energy exchange is about way more than saving yourself for God, saving yourself for the person that you're going to be with for the rest of your life. I am on the path of coming into union with my divine counterpart. If you're not my divine counterpart, you ain't getting nowhere near me. I did not go almost 6 years of being celibate for nothing. You better bet your ass that. I know there's a bigger reason why I chose to be celibate almost 6 years ago, and I know there's a bigger reason why I have been so disciplined to that commitment to myself. I did my time. I did my time giving myself away, and now I had to do my time giving back to me. To all the women out there that are choosing to be celibate, are on a celibacy journey, and finally choosing themselves and protecting that energy, congrats. Props to you. I'm so fucking happy for you. And if this isn't you, that's okay too. You do you, boo. There's no judgment here. I did that path, and now I'm doing this path. I honor all paths and all people that choose to do what is right for them. Celibacy is a pretty big commitment to self. It's probably one of the most disciplined and sacred acts you can do on your healing journey, to commit to yourself to be celibate until you come into union with someone. Maybe it's not your divine counterpart, maybe it's just somebody that you feel a connection with and you feel that they are important enough with, and you trust them enough to have that sacred energy exchange. Like I said, you do you. I'm talking about my experience and my thoughts on being celibate. It's actually pretty fucking exhilarating. You should try it. Thank you for being here. I love you, and I'll see you tomorrow.
I recently saw a post that said, celibacy becomes easy for a woman when she's disgusted by the idea of being touched without love. They get it.
I'm so glad I'm celibate. Because if I was not celibate, baby, I would have already given myself up to the wrong person and got trapped inside of a karmic lesson I would have never been able to get myself out of. I'm so glad I'm celibate. Because the last sneaky link that I ever had caused me to come out with a gift that I ain't want to give. A year ago. Collective, being celibate is the best answer. Not because you want to save yourself into marriage, but you don't want to go around giving your energy to any and everybody and then come home feeling less of a great person than you walked out your door. Right now is the perfect time to keep your energy back from just anybody, because you could go out and have sex with somebody that don't have no energy and that feel drained and exhausted every day. And next thing you know, you on your way home on a walk of shame, feeling depressed, down, and have like you have PTSD. All because of the person you chose to have sex with. So collective, celibacy is not just for you to hold yourself into marriage. It's to keep yourself from having sex with multiple people, like a lot of these NPCs out here doing, and getting caught up in a wrong spiritual marriage and unable to do anything about it. Celibacy is key. Clock it.
You know, I think celibate people figure something out very important. Celibate people let me tell you, celibate people realize this. Once you control your lust, a lot of folks ain't got shit to offer you but bad character, a childish mentality, insecurities, and a whole bunch of trauma. You see, celibate people realizes this, that a lot of people ain't got shit to offer. And once you go celibate, listen, you see it. In everybody that you speak to, people love to talk about sex and nothing else. That's what their best conversations are about. And so these celibate people figured out that I ain't a Russian. I have nowhere to be. Because you, listen, I'm telling you all, man, you all gotta be careful out there. Learn something from why these people are celibate, because they see it clearly. They see straight to your energy. A lot of folks ain't got shit. These days, leaving somebody for some problems for somebody else with some different problems, it's pointless. Y'all better learn.
All right, listen, if you're a young man, old man, but I'm mainly talking to the young guys because it ain't too late for y'all. But listen, go celibate. Go celibate or just stick with one girl. Listen, what a lot of young guys have a problem with, I've had a problem, I'm gonna be honest, was always messing with a lot of women. Being super promiscuous, it's a distraction. That's a lot of young guys' problems. Women, it's the biggest distraction. That's mainly that's the low key, it's the only distraction for a lot of guys. I got homies that every time I see them, it's a new one. It's a new broad every time. It's always a new one. It's like, okay, I got this one. I hit her. I need a new one. It's never, I'm about to go to my girl house. It's never, I'm about to just go home and lock in on my second business. It's never that. It's always a new girl. Listen, men can also be a distraction for some women. I know some women that live their whole lives chasing men. Lose everything chasing men. But basically what I'm saying is, bro, if it's not your girlfriend or your boyfriend, just stay celibate. No reason why you should be single, sleeping with people. It's just a big distraction. You're wasting time. It's just a big waste of time. If you ain't peeped about now, it's just a big waste of time. You're single, even doing anything with a person that does not love you is weird. I seen somebody in my comments, they was like, yeah, bro, one girl gets annoying after a while. One girl is just not enough. When is it ever gonna be enough for you if you keep trying to get new booty? I'm just gonna keep it a band, bro. I used to think the same way. Oh, having one girl ain't enough, bro. When is it ever gonna be enough? You're just gonna keep trying to fish for new ass every day. Stop doing it, bro. It's just a big distraction, bro. You're addicted.
I'm 23 years old and I don't want to hook up. I don't want to make out. I don't want situationship. I don't want girlfriend. I don't want boyfriend, or I don't want partner. I just want tiramisu.
I wanted to talk to you about your decision to remain single since your 40s. Have you ever regretted that?
Never for a moment. Never for a moment. You know, it's not like it was a conscious decision that on February the 12th, at 8 p.m. I sat down and I wrote down, I will never get involved with a man. No, it wasn't that way. It's just, you know, in the course of my life, that was not an issue. It was simply ceased to be an issue.
Yeah. But the celibate part, was that a bitch?
No. Because, you know, it's a law of physics that an object in motion tends to stay in motion and an object at rest tends to stay at rest. So, you know, when you're sexually involved, you want more and you want more. And then when you're not having it, somehow it just, you know, fades onto the back burner. It's not uppermost in your life. And also as you get older, I mean, I know there are some people who still feel very, very sexy. I remember having been friends for a while with Erica Jung, and Erica used to always interview me, ask me questions about my sex life, and I couldn't think of anything in which I was less interested.
I broke my 2.5 year celibacy, and then halfway through my 4th shift in a row, I received a paragraph and I was fucking blocked, and it was just the same old bullshit. I need to work on myself. Oh my gosh. And I'm posting this to help any other person that's on their celibacy journey. Girl, don't break it. Don't do it, okay? Like, I've been going through the 5 stages of grief since noon. Okay, I'm not gonna crash out. I actually lock the fuck in when I get pissed off. So, but, like, it is what it is, you know what I mean? But I also learned a very important lesson. I thought I was missing out on something. Like, I needed something, because 2.5 years, girl, is a long time. For a second there, I was worried. I was worried about myself. I was really worried. I was like, I literally, like, don't think of sexually for anybody, and, like, am I okay? And no, I'm good, but it was not worth breaking my celibacy for. It was not worth it at all. And here we go, for life. For life. For life. Where's the nunnery? Where do I go? Where do I sign up? Where the fuck do I sign up? I just got a vape because I'm not medicated and I don't drink and I don't smoke and I need some kind of fucking stimulant. And then I'm about to grab an Alani and hit the gym because, like I said, I'm gonna lock the fuck in. Maybe listen to some fucking sad music, but I'll be all right for sure. But he blocked me, and I was like, you know what? That's the smartest thing that you could have done, because when you piss me off, I got a mouth on me, man. Like, that's why, yeah. But don't break your celibacy. That shit is just not, you're not missing out on anything. I'm not missing out on anything. There's probably great people, great guys out there, but, and at least I know, hell, I'm still straight, because for a second there, I was so celibate, I started guessing my sexuality, which is funny, but just want to let y'all know.
Celibacy increases your discernment because it's almost impossible to be stupid over a man you haven't let rearrange your guts. Let's talk about it. The reason why your discernment is off is because you keep betraying yourself. You keep allowing men in. You keep spreading yourself thin, energetically, spiritually, sexually, all the above, right? To please a man. Right? You keep going back on your own word. You keep denying your own intuition because you're looking for validation through a man. Through a man. You're looking for validation through a man. Sit with that. Think about it. Okay, yes, it's fucking crazy. Okay, so I'm glad we agree. When you give yourself to a man, an undeserving man, that can't even do the bare fucking minimum, like make reservations or call you to check how your day was, probably doesn't even text you, did you get home safe, after you've pulled up on him at 11 o'clock at night, did what you did, right? And then went on your way. Keep saying it's friends with benefits. What bill have you gotten paid? Of course your discernment is off. Look at how fucked up you got yourself. But the good thing is, you can step back into your power at any given time. So you should do that. Okay? I love you.
When you choose celibacy, you are choosing self-discipline, you are choosing peace, you are choosing clarity, and yes, you end up getting closer and closer to God. You end up having a higher vibrational frequency that not only you notice, but other people around you notice it as well. Sexual energy exchange is a very, very real thing. And it can be very powerful. And it can also be extremely destructive to your health, to your mental health, but above all, to your spiritual health. Choosing to abstain, choosing celibacy would be the best decision that you could ever make for yourself. For me personally, I am 18 months on the celibacy train, and it has provided me with so much peace, so much happiness, so much energy, so much clarity, a lot more of a high vibrational frequency, a lot more knowledge, a lot more understanding, a lot more closer in my relationship with God, a lot more self-discipline, self-awareness, self-respect, self-worth. I have seen a huge improvement within myself, and I look around at other people that have also made this choice, choosing to remain celibate. And what that also means is not dating, no desire to date, basically focusing on yourself, on your journey, on your healing, and completely detaching from all soul ties from your past. You will start to see a transformation within yourself. Physically, your appearance, you'll start to glow. You'll start looking brighter. You'll start feeling lighter. There is no dense energy weighing heavy on your shoulders. You are more focused on your goals. You are a lot more focused on your relationship with Christ. There is nothing clouding your judgment. There is nothing fogging up that clarity within you. In fact, when you remain celibate, you gain such a profound clarity within yourself. So I cannot promote celibacy enough. It is the best decision that you will ever make. Each to their own, but sexual energy exchange, it can cause so many problems. If you are not married, if you don't have a husband or a wife, and you are just casually exchanging your sexual energy with different partners, or with that one partner and you have no idea how many partners that particular partner has had, you are really putting yourself at risk. You'll end up with serious depression, a lot of anxiety, your emotions are all fogged up, your clarity is all fogged up, your judgment is all fogged up. You end up in a very, very dense, dark place within your spirituality as well. Lack of spiritual growth. You're putting your physical health in harm's way. There's a lot that can go wrong with that. You have to be very choosy and very careful who you give your sexual energy to. It's a gift and it should be treated as sacred. Celibacy is the way. I'm telling you guys. Trust me.
Are you celibate?
Listen, when you calm down, you can focus. All right, it's been good. I've been good to me. It's when things start getting complicated. Things start getting confusing because people come in for different reasons. And then if you like go on a date, but you have no interest in anything, you can I can see you now. I say, goddamn, girl, you fine, but you ain't got nothing going on.
Oh, but so the intoxication of a romantic desire clouds your ability to perceive
Absolutely
the person.
does, Stephen.
Wow.
Most men.
Right. Yeah.
Most of us.
Smash man, yeah.
She
Have you
looks
been
good.
married? May I ask, have you been married in the past?
I'm safe. I'm not a happy hostage.
You've never been married?
No.
Never been married?
I'm here, man. I'm free.
Wow.
Yeah.
Free.
I made some mistakes, just not that one.